Hello, welcome back to my channel. I want to say thank you so much to all the people who watched my last video and who commented. I was really nervous about uploading that, so it was just really nice. And yeah, thank you to everyone who watched that. So today I have one of those videos where I kind of show all the things that I've made recently and all the things that I wear the most. I've been knitting, I think I said in my last video, I've been knitting for about probably about 15 years now, but a lot of those things I've either given away or unraveled or yeah, just really don't wear that much anymore. So yeah, these are all the things that I have made and I really like and have been wearing for like a long time now. So I'll start with, I've got some socks, I've got some accessories, and then I've got some bigger kind of jumpers and cardigans and pieces like that. So to begin with, I've got just 3 pairs of socks to show you, and these are all from this kind of lovely era that I've entered into now, where I make socks that actually fit me. So that's really nice. They are quite often like this 3x1 rib. These ones were, I think this was like some yarn that I got when I was on holiday in Ireland, and I had this purple yarn that I wanted to use up, but I didn't think I had enough for a whole pair in this colour, and I was right, I didn't. So instead, what I did, I didn't want to kind of do any maths to work out to make the pair equal. So instead, what I did is I started knitting with this this grey colour that I already had, and then after a good chunk of that, I joined on with the purple, knitted to the toe, and then just knitted this sock until I ran out of the purple, and then finished it again with the grey for the toe. And I really like how it worked out. It was kind of like a zero waste project because I used up all the purple with no like little bits left over. And yeah, they fit really nicely. It's yeah, just kind of basic sock, but I was really happy with them. And then the next are these really cool pair in this green yarn that I believe was called avocado, but again, I'm so bad at just buying buying bits and pieces, and then they just go into my big stash, and then I have no, I like use them for something else, and then I have no idea what they are. But that, I don't know, I can't really see that changing. Anyway, so I made these socks with this kind of lovely pink contrast toe, and then I did just the cast on and the first row in the pink as well. And I really like on this side, I did a really loose like long tail cast on, and it's given it almost this kind of frill, and it's really made it really stretchy at the top too. And then so I really like that, and then I forgot to replicate it when I made this sock. I mean, it's fine, it still stretches, it's still really nice, and then it's toe down, so I'm not going to remake them, but in the future I might make another pair where I do the same thing, because I really like it. So it's really nice. And then my last socks are a bit different. They are just like normal plain stockinette in this really lovely self-striping yarn, but the pattern itself is really cool. So it's called Socks to Fight Fascism, and it is by a designer whose name I can't remember, but I will pop her there. And I just think it's such a cool project. So she has taken all these sock patterns that were written during the Second World War to try and encourage women to knit socks for people who were fighting. And yeah, she's spliced them all together into one cohesive pattern, and then added all these hints and tips that they were writing in the patterns at the time too, like don't hunch while you're knitting or you'll get a bad back, and women don't knit and gossip. And I just think it's such an interesting project, maybe because I did, I've got a history degree, but she's sourced it really well. She's got all her references at the bottom where she's got these things from, and I just think it's a really cool idea. I don't think it's particularly, well, I think she says this as well, it's not a particularly beginner friendly project, partly just because of the vintage kind of style of writing knitting patterns. It's a lot more, I don't know, it's very different, isn't it, to how modern patterns are written. But I just think it's a really cool idea. It's interesting, I think, even if you're not going to make the socks, but it does make a pretty good pair of socks. So the next kind of category I've got is my winter accessories, and I will say in advance that I'm sorry, this is a really Sophie scarf heavy category for me, but these are pretty much all these are all the winter accessories that I have. Like, I don't have loads, so yeah, this is pretty much everything that I own, but yeah, I've been wearing some of this stuff for at least 5, maybe even 6 years. And yeah, the first thing I have is this Sophie scarf, which is the first Sophie scarf that I made when I just got the pattern, and I was kind of testing it out. So it was with some kind of scrap variegated 4-ply held with this brown colour, and then obviously I ran out of that, so this is just a pink 4-ply held double. And I thought it was really fun. I think it was a time when everyone, if you knitted and you were on Instagram, you had to make one of these, didn't you? But it was a really fun project, and I love, the one thing I really love about the Sophie scarf is because it was so popular, it does mean you meet people sometimes out and about and you're both wearing Sophie scarves, and then you get to make a new friend and talk about knitting with them. So I think that's really nice. I think I might make this again at some point, just in maybe like a plain colour, so it's potentially a bit more wearable, although I do wear this all the time. And maybe slightly longer, because I think this was kind of like between the two sizes. So if I do the kind of classic Sophie scarf tie, it's quite tight on my neck. So yeah, maybe make another one at some point. That's just a little bit longer. But I think they're really versatile, and I quite like when it's kind of borderline, like on the edge of whether it's cold enough to wear them. You can just like pop it into your bag or pop it into a jacket pocket, and then it's waiting for you later. So I made that one, and then I think the next one I made was this absolutely enormous. I think this is the Sophie shawl. But I mean, it's just how many rows you leave it, isn't it, before you do the increase. And this was with some Aran, I think it's Drops Aran 100% wool yarn. Again, I think this is about 5 years old now. And I had bought that yarn for a sweater vest, I think, that I didn't end up making. And so instead I thought I just used it all up. So I think it's much longer than even the longest Sophie scarf is supposed to be, because I just knitted it until I had used up half of the balls of yarn, then caught that the middle and made the other half. But I really like it. It's not the Sophie hood, but I think because it is so massive, I can kind of do the Sophie hood thing with it. If needs be. Mostly I just kind of wear it like a normal scarf. But yeah, I really like it. I love the colour, and I think it's really nice. And I have, like I said, like all the pictures of me in the winter feature this scarf. But that's no bad thing. And then the other thing that I have been wearing for, yeah, again, like must be at least 5 years, is this, which is the Oslo hat, also by Petite Knit. It's really nice. It's like a folded, it's got this like triple folded brim, so it's really warm. I think I made it slightly shorter than in the pattern, so it doesn't like kind of hugs the back of my head and hasn't got that slouchy slouchiness, but that's how I wanted it. That's a little bit like a little bit more fitted to my head. I again don't know what the yarn was, but I am sure that when I bought it, like I bought it from my local yarn shop, and I'm sure when I bought it, it was discontinued and on sale. So I don't remember what it was, but even if I did, it wouldn't be any good. Is what I'm saying, I guess. But it's really nice. It's a navy, but I feel like it's got slightly like kind of purple tones and things like that in it. And yeah, I really like it. And then the last two things are my newest kind of items in my winter wardrobe. And this is this matching hat and scarf, which I think is coming out quite orange on camera, but it's actually this really lovely kind of postbox red. It was I had the yarn and I made it into one really long kind of skinny scarf it was like really stretching as well, and I decided I didn't like it that much, so I unraveled it and I made this hat, which is the Pearl Soho like 1x1 ribbed hat. I don't know if you want to see all these hats on, but this is what it looks like. And then with the yarn I had left over, I made another, I don't know whether this was the shawl or the scarf, but yeah, I made another scarf and I really like it. It's quite nice to have like a matching thing, I think. And the scarf really makes me think of Michael Caine in A Christmas Carol, and I feel like you can't say fairer than that in the winter. So yeah, big fan of those. And that's kind of all the winter accessories I have. I would really like, it's kind of on my project list for this year, I'd really like to make some like proper like fingered gloves. We'll see if I get around to that, and whether, I don't know, whether it feels like a good idea now, but when I'm on the fourth finger, I'll regret all my life choices. But yeah, those are all my winter accessories. And then I've got this pile, which was obviously slightly more exciting things. And I realise I haven't said what I'm wearing either. So this is it's the Nordic Bloom Vest with these absolutely lovely like flower chart on it. If you've seen the original pattern, you'll know that it doesn't normally look like this. So I made the pattern exactly like, I made the pattern as written to begin with, and I just found I wasn't really wearing it that much. I think I finished it probably in like February last year, but yeah, I wasn't wearing it that much, and I think it's not the designer's fault, this is just how it's written, but I don't really own any clothes with this that like kind of big V, and so I just didn't really feel like I had anything to wear it with. Like I just don't have anything in my wardrobe like that, so I don't have anything in my wardrobe that goes with things like that, I suppose. Anyway, like I just found I wasn't really wearing it. I didn't really like I didn't feel it really like suited me. So I unraveled it back to where the flowers started, and then I knitted it straight and then kind of fudged this like round neckline and finished it all off with a I-cord bind, and then like I-cord like tassels, toggles, to make, so I could tie it up at the front. And I really like it. It's the first project I've ever done. It was the only project I've ever done with the steeking, which I really enjoyed. I think the flower designs are absolutely beautiful, and I don't know if this will, but yeah, you can see like all my floats inside were really, really lovely, if I do say so myself. And I'm a lot happy with it now. It looks like this, but it's obviously it's a bit different to how I guess it was intended. So now onto my jumpers. So I've got two cardigans and two jumpers that are kind of my most worn pieces, and we'll start. Yeah, I guess we'll start my absolute warmest jumper first, and that is this yoked Lopi yarn jumper. So it is the Lopi 25th anniversary Lettlopi 25th anniversary pattern, which is a free pattern on Ravelry, and I did it in the Lopi yarn as well, which I will say, if you haven't used it before, is probably like the scratchiest yarn I have ever worked with, and I like it. It's incredibly warm, like in the winter. I tend to wear it. I do tend to wear it with like a turtleneck underneath or something like that, because I'm not sure how I feel about it like against my neck. But it's really beautiful. It's like this like 2-ply, but it's very thick, that they like they spin. I don't know how it works. They spin it together and it creates this really warm kind of like almost like slightly squishy yarn, but yeah, like I said, very rough. Definitely 100% sheep going into this, but yeah, I quite like it. I think British yarn tends to also have that kind of like quite rough quality, and I think it makes it very hard wearing. Like, I've been wearing this for a long time. I wouldn't say it's like pilled at all. Like, it's covered in cat hair, but that's not the yarn's fault. Like even under the armpit, maybe like a tiny bit, but not really. And then the colours, I think I was inspired by the brand Toast. Has some really good, I think, good inspiration for knitting projects, because they make really beautiful stuff, but it's like expensive enough that I'm not tempted by it. And then I just think it's good if I really like something enough to make it, then it's like a way to kind of see how those colours will look already, I suppose. But yeah, there's kind of, I think, a similar kind of yoked jumper on a Toast website, and so I took the Lopi pattern, but I've just picked out the flowers from the middle. It's not the full it's not the full yoke, and I really like it. It's like way too hot to wear at the moment. We're kind of in the middle of we're at the tail end, hopefully, of a heat wave in the UK, but it hasn't rained for a long time, and so it almost feels a bit strange to be talking about this and holding it. But it's a really beautiful jumper. It's the only yoked jumper that I own, but I have got, for my birthday, I got another Lopi jumper kit for my mum. So hopefully at some point in the winter I'm gonna make that, and I'm very excited about that. And I got this as well, because with the leftovers from that jumper, I had enough to make this kind of fun crochet donkey. It's a Toft pattern that I got from the library, and it's very cute, and the rustic kind of scratchy yarn works absolutely perfectly for it. It's he's pretty cute. He sits next to my TV. Right, so the next project is this cardigan that I was wearing in my last video, which is the Ozetta Traveller's cardigan that I have made in this like red and pink stripe, just like turning the colour every 2 rows. So the yarn for this was a really exciting project for me. So I had a jumper that I'd bought, I think I bought off Vinted. I had worn it a little bit. It was a hand knitted jumper, but it was just too big for me, and it was this beige colour that I decided I didn't really like. So what I did, I unravelled it, and then I dyed it. So I took half of it and dyed it this red colour, and then I watered down, like I made the dye bath, I think it's called, again, but with much less of the dye in. I mean, the whole thing was a big experiment for me because I've never dyed anything before. But yeah, it was really exciting, and it meant, so the pink is just the red, but like a watered down version of it. And I think it's really nice because obviously then it's the same kind of tone, because it's the same color, but just more watered down. It's slightly less of a good, like it's a bit more patchy on the pink, I guess, because of that, but I don't think it really shows up unless you're looking for it. And even if you are looking for it, I don't think it necessarily looks bad. So I was really happy with that. And then the buttons are from so my mum she's got a button tin. She's got her mum's button tin, and she's got her grandma's old button tin too. So she let me raid her stash. And I don't think if I was in a shop, I would never have chosen like a yellow button, I don't think. But that's what I found, the 5 matching buttons that were the right size. So I went with that, and I really like them. I think they're really fun. And it was just, it was really nice to do a project that didn't involve didn't involve anything new. I will say, I think, because of that, I don't really know what the yarn was originally, but I do think maybe because it's like been knitted, then it's been unravelled, and it's been dyed, and it's been knitted again, and then I have worn this cardigan a lot, but it is pilling quite badly, particularly kind of like on the sleeves, and like on the, like where it kind of rubs against each other. Well, I don't know. It's not too bad. And then I think the other thing, which is something to think about if you're making the cardigan and changing the stripes like I was. So it's an amazing pattern. I would make it again, definitely. And I loved that the button band is knitted into the cardigan. I just thought that was kind of genius, and made it so fun. But I do think on this side, where I have swapped the colours each time, I've maybe, and this is the only thing I can think of that I've done, is I've pulled the yarn when I've been swapping, and it has just made this side like slightly less stretchy than the side with the buttons on it. There's about like, I don't know, like half an inch in it, maybe even an inch if I pull. And it means if I do the when I do the buttons up, it just becomes a little bit warped, which is annoying, but I don't tend to do the buttons up anyway. So it's certainly, I'm not gonna do it again like we do it. But it is a bit annoying. But I really like it. It was my first, like I said, my first project dyeing the yarn. I really want to do some more of that in the future because it was really fun, and I have the giant pot now. So might as well use it for other exciting projects. So the next thing is what I hope. I don't know. This is what I would be waiting for. What I hope you're all waiting for. Like, this is the most kind of exciting project I think I have. I made this, I think like winter 2024, and it is my Womble jumper. So I had this idea. Then I hadn't made my stripy cardigan yet, obviously, and I wanted to make a jumper that didn't involve anything new and was all kind of like scraps and made from stuff that already existed. And the Wombles, if you don't know, it was originally a book by Elizabeth Beresford and then a TV show, but they live on Wimbledon Common, and they take all the stuff that the humans have thrown away, and they're, you know, the kind of original environmentalists and recyclers and things like that. And I'd seen this as like a vintage children's pattern, and I just thought it'd be such a cool idea. So I bought a jumper on Vinted, and I think I took a little like recording thing at the time, which I'm a bit worried to show you. So I'm worried people will say, why have you taken this beautiful jumper and turned it into a Womble? But I bought this jumper off Vinted with the intention of unraveling it, which I did, and then so that became the navy kind of background, and then all the other colours were either from my stash, or like I think the yellow I borrowed from I took from a friend. He's slightly furry, and that's because for this bit I held like kind of beige with a mohair that I took from my mum. So yeah, I think it's such a nice project, because yeah, it didn't involve anything new, and it was, yeah, like I said, it was a children's pattern. So I think I made the largest size anyway, and I was like slightly off gauge, and then it's knitted flat, so it was fairly easy to just, for example, like with the sleeves, just knit until they fitted me, and then I think, kind of measured it as I went here, to make sure like it was tall enough. Like, I think the original pattern's obviously to make quite an oversized jumper, like that comes down to kind of like mid-thigh, I guess. But this is a bit more cropped. And yeah, I just think it's worked out really well. This is Orinoco Womble. He's eating a sandwich. And 10 out of 10 project, no notes. Yeah, I was really, really chuffed with that. And then my final project, which will now be a letdown, because what could follow this? But I had so much of the yarn left over from the jumper that I unravelled, that I could make this cardigan as well, which is that yarn held with a slightly lighter mohair, which creates this sort of marbled effect. This is, I believe, the Petite Knit Novice Cardigan. The buttons again from my mum's stash. Yeah, the mohair I did buy new, but you can't win them all. And it was just really nice to made like well, this the cardigan itself is really nice. It's really warm and cozy and thick. It's wildly off gauge, because I was just messing around with the yarn and the mohair and all of that. But it's worked out well, and I think it was just so nice as a project to take that one jumper and make these two completely different things. That was really exciting, and I want to do more of that in the future. Like I've been quite good, like I quite like making things and then unraveling them and remaking them and things like that. It's much cheaper for me, but I definitely want to do some more projects where I buy things specifically for the yarn and kind of unravel them and things like that. So yeah, if I do some stuff like that in the future, I will try and like make some videos about the process if that's something that would interest you, because I think it's it feels like it's a very sustainable way to do my hobby, which is really nice. And I think that's everything I have to say. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and yeah, thank you.